The unhinged rattle of a rapturous drumming, a lone distortion guitar with a dark breeze of melody, the aura of nightly synths glistening. It's a muddy mess we are initially thrown into, which then swiftly plunges into blast beats and throaty howling screams before opening up its triumphant gleam as astral organ synths and warm patrolling bass lines bear its melodic majesty with might. As the music sways, the darkness is doubled down on, driving rapid chugs on the low end of the guitar and nosediving with the snare-led blast beat. As it rears towards the darkness, so does it expand the crevice of starlit light. They are birthed into progressive passageways of rhythmic creativity and instrumental craft imbued by subtle violin strokes and blossomed with a stunning guitar solo before the wretched howls of Garm and a bleak melodic lead reels in the song to a festive, carnival conclusion of mischief. This is To Thou Who Dwellest in the Night, the opening track to one of my most deified symphonic black metal records. It's the niche of a genre that really spoke to me in my youth, this being that one weird, sloppily produced record that I couldn't resist. It lured me in with its spellbound tone over and over again before I gave into its persuasion. Its flaws are beauty, and the musical craft is a wondrous moment of genius somewhat confined to the initial cliches of this emerging sound. Arcturus would go on to fully explore their unique identity unchained, but at this moment, its true birth, the grasp of black metal, is simply a blessing to steer it to a fantastical darkness of unending imagination inspired by the mysterious night sky above. The brilliance of drummer and living legend Hellhammer is all over this record. Although a toned-down performance by his technical prowess, the rattle and roar of his thunderous drumming houses the strong expressions through melody in aggression, mainly backed up by the reverberated cries Into the Night by Garm. He also has a stunning clean voice which enters the fray timely to bring enchantment to its sways into the more expansive side of their music with deep bellows and high notes alike. It's the guitar leads and synths that embellish the identity, offering up matured arrangements with melodic sways and subtle grooves, more so than its occasional power chord thrashings. This is thoughtful music, reaching at the harder to express ideas with a range of fantastical synth aesthetics to back it up. Aspera Hiems Symfonia's texture is often cold, harsh and bleak, with the keys injecting this lineage of majesty through its often clanky involvement. The production is a mess. Instruments bleed and crash, but throughout this, the keyboard's classic Casio and Korg tones are blemished, shining through the cracks in the seams to make themselves known. It has just enough presence to be known in subtlety, and with each listen one can revere in the clarity that comes of repetition. To this day, I always feel like I learn a little more of its nature with each listen. As the album art intends, they often remind me of the northern lights illuminating the vast endless forests of Norwegian darkness the genre's counterparts are so inspired by. These musicians notice the stars above. Interestingly, this record is preceded by Constellation, an EP with 4 of these 8 songs. It gets unbalanced by its overuse of synth, however with this outing they nailed a concept you could have completely missed given its initial execution. It's the newer songs that tend to be the finer affairs with more dynamic sense of where the songs should travel. The older songs have some stiffly stitched together sections with dramatic shifts in tone and dynamics, often repetitious in structure. The attempted sound design with thunder strikes and other rumblings at the end of Wintry Grey is a fumble, but the music is too glorious for it to tarnish the spell. Arcturus have been a deeply wondrous band I've adored for so long and have been blessed to see them live. It's hard to pick a favourite, each of their albums so different and interesting. They would go on to be better known for their avant-garde styling, but even here, at the cast mould of new ideas, they were a force of their own, standing alongside the cold bitter darkness of their counterparts, yet being entirely different beasts fueled by the wonder of the cosmos, both in name and spirit. My recent brush with My Angel was a keen reminder as to how special this debut album of theirs really is. 25 years on later, and it still holds up wonderfully. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to see some more of my music blogs, go check the website out. Every page has over 1,000 articles sorted by artist, year, genre and more. Just hit Ctrl F and have a search for something that interests you. You can find a link to the blog in the description box down below, where you'll also find links to my other YouTube channels. Check them out if you are curious. Thanks again for watching, and be sure to subscribe to catch the next upload.